All right, what's going on, Tampa Bay?
Hello, Tampa Bay. Craig Beggins and my brother Jeff Beggins, also known as the Beggins brothers. We've been a Century 21 broker in Tampa Bay for 28 years. Supervised about 50 or 60,000 transactions, probably right on your street. And we're getting asked all day long what's going on in the real estate market. So we thought today we'd give you a little insight and tell you our perspectives on how it works.
Guys, we have a generational opportunity perhaps coming, and I'm gonna caveat this by saying perhaps coming because nobody's ever been here before and we don't truly know exactly the outcome. But we're going to talk about supply and demand because that pretty much decides it rules the world. And there's a couple of slides I'm going to pull in real quick to kind of just make our points to go with us. So give me a moment here. I'm going to share. And this is what I want to talk about. And we train our agents. We've got about 400 agents. So we got a bunch of offices all around Tampa, Sarasota, Manatee County, Hillsborough, Pinellas. We've got a great pulse on what's going on. But what's going on right now is this is a reaction to an event. And a lot of people kind of get confused that, oh no, this is 2008. Our price is dropping. People calling us a lot, say, hey, I got some money. When I see a good deal, let me know. Start buying some foreclosures. Come out, okay? This is a reaction to an event, much like the reaction to 9/11, because that was an event that people just kind of got punched in the gut and had to sit back and figure out what's going on until they got normal again. And that's kind of what's happening today. And 2008 was a financial sector collapse, and it was nasty and terrible. And that's not what we're seeing here today. So what I want to go through with you guys are the main differences here. So the government learned a lot from the handling of 2008 to today. Once this event happened, and it's a terrible event, we're not making light of it in any way, shape, or form. But the stimulus response, if it can ever get fully pushed through, is going to really change things. The differences here are mortgages are no one's able to be foreclosed on, no one's getting evicted, student loans have been paused, evictions are out, tax relief is coming, stimulus are going. A lot of people receive their stimulus check, and this is pretty quick response. So the emergency influx of cash to help people get through this time seems to be the big difference, because the last time we got some, but it was a little late for many. And not to make light of it, it's a tough quarter we're coming through, but I want to talk about supply and demand, because we have kind of pre-corona, during corona, and post-corona. And there's three different worlds that we're living in. So let's chat for a second. Craig, talk about what pre-corona was like with supply and demand before we even started hearing about this crazy stuff. What were some issues with our market?
Well, we had very low inventory supplies. We were dealing with a real estate market where we had multiple offers on many listings, and we had more buyers than we had sellers. So that was a recipe for a tight real estate market. It's called a seller's market. So we were strongly entrenched in a seller's market pre-corona.
And then that's a great thing. Now those buyers haven't gone anywhere. Now the reality of it is, let's talk some of the reality here. About 15% of those buyers lost their jobs, right? Unemployment is a big issue right now. But let's go on the rosier side of that story. It's 85% of them didn't, okay? So we're gonna have a big chunk of those buyers are still in the market. During Corona right now, we've got some uncertainty. I mean, I can't tell you, and you can't tell whether the stock market's gonna go up or down 1,000 points on any given day. There's so many variables floating around, which that creates consumer no confidence. So without consumer confidence, people really hit the pause button. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now and kind of getting ready. And that's the point of this talk today, is the getting ready. Because our views about post-corona are, again, our views, but I think they're based in a lot of data of what's going on. And I believe that pent-up demand that was ready to buy is going to be met with a lot of stimulus buyers, because guys, the only way out of this to bring this economy back is going to be massive amounts of cash infusion to get people to go spend money. You're going to see the cars, you're already seeing them, 0% this, 0% that, 0% this, please just buy my stuff, right? That's just happening. Now interest rates, my prediction is they're going to get a big drop, because it's going to stimulate and force people to buy that otherwise would not have. So you're going to have the big buyer pool that was going to buy anyway. Now, a lot of people that say, hey, why not? This is a great time. I've been stuck in my house for 2 months. I really wish I had an extra bedroom. I had a pool. I had a this, I had a that, I had a this. And they're going to start shopping, looking for it. So now you're going to have a huge buyer market added on with a huge buyer market with an already limited seller supply. And that's the problem that we have right now, and something I want you guys to really think about. So a couple of the slides here. I want, just from an economic standpoint, let me just take for 2 seconds. So the record unemployment, if you look at my slide here, this was 2008. when we had this little blip of unemployment. Pretty bad. That was not a good time. Look at what we just had, right? 6 million people in a week say, I have no job, give me money. That's not good. So we have that issue. So, but based on that, look at what's going on. So we're going to have the same situation this week and next week. And we all know that we're going to have a bad quarter. Okay. And that's what we're facing now. But to balance this out a little bit, I want to compare the unemployment rates from the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and wait to our current little event crisis right now. If you look at the unemployment rates from 1930, right, we had 8, then it jumped to 15, then 20, then 25, 21, 20. That's 6 years of terrible unemployment rate. Great Recession, you know, we had 7, we jumped up to 9, we stayed at 9, 8, 7, 6, and it's kind of fade back quite a bit different. This time, we're going to hit 15 by most experts' predictions, but then we're going to go back down to 6 and then 5 and then 4 because this is an event. This is not a financial collapse. Okay, that's a big differentiating factor here of what all the experts are talking about here. This is the forecast, Goldman Sachs, pretty credible source. Q2, I can't sugarcoat it, is going to be ugly. It's going to hurt. A lot of us are having really tough times right now. But the good news is there's light at the end of the tunnel. We've already seen this show in different countries, and they're emerging out of this, and they're coming back, and doors are opening, and revenue starting to flow, and normalcy is coming. So the predictions are coming back to 3 and 4. Now, this one here is important because of home prices. This shows appreciation versus depreciation in the last 5 recessions that we've actually been through. And in 3 of the last 5, appreciation actually happened, right? Not depreciation. 2008, we had a lot, but I'm going to talk about that in just a second because it was kind of a false depreciation, which we'll talk about. This is one of my favorite slides right now because this is a collaboration between Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all predicting that V-shaped recovery. Now you hear V, you hear U. We all are hoping it's a V. We don't know if it's going to be a V or a U-shaped kind of recovery, how long it's going to take, but we do know at the end of it, it's going to go back up because it's a reaction to an event. A couple more slides. I want to show the distinction as to why I need you guys to get ready to do something, because Americans are sitting on tremendous equity. 37% of all homes in the US are owned free and clear. They don't care what happens to the prices of it. They're fine. They have no mortgage at all. Over 53.8% have at least 50% equity in their home. There's a lot of lessons learned from 2008. Remember when everybody started just financing and buying jet skis and all the things like that? That didn't happen last time. And here's a good example. If you look at these 6 years leading up to 2006, 7, 8 collapse there, depreciation was going 8, 12, 11, huge numbers. You guys remember that. And a lot of it was unsustained and didn't make a lot of sense, but it was happening anyway. So when you fell, you had a long way to fall because this was kind of built up, didn't really make a lot of sense. Now, the last 6 years leading up to this event, look how nice we've become. Look how thoughtful, look how responsible we have become as a country leading up to this. And 4, 5, 6, 4, 4, normal appreciation, like a normal real estate market. So that's kind of where we are. So there's really nothing to fall because we haven't had any crazy rises. This is an important slide for where we're going to getting ready here, guys, because buyer's market versus seller market. What's the normal buyer supply market? What do we look for? We call it a normal market.
6 months supply of houses.
Okay, so anything greater than 6 months supply is called a what?
Buyer's market.
Anything under 6 months supply is called a
Seller's market.
Okay, and we're now sitting about 2.1 months supply, which is a very hardcore seller's market. And what we were just talking about is those buyers are still there. And now if we do get stimulus interest rates, which I do predict that we will, we're going to have a bunch more buyers on top of the already buyers on top of a low inventory seller's market, which is going to create issues because it's supply and demand, guys. That means the house that you're in right now is going to be in demand. Your buying power to buy another house or move up, move down, or move around is going to be stronger than it's ever been before. So the message here is this. It's prepare. Now, we're not saying you have to do anything, but I'm saying you should get prepared. And if you have an agent, great. If you're working with one of our agents, great. If you're not, reach out. We'll get you in touch with one of our agents. We've got the best of the best of the best in the business, right? Just for a couple reasons. Number one, to figure out what is your house really, really worth. I'm not talking about your Zestimate. I'm not talking about whatever a postcard told you it was worth. I'm talking real supply and demand. What is your home worth right now? What equity are you sitting on today? That's a very important number, guys. Very important. I don't care if you act on it, but you need to know that number, because you need to talk to a lender also, because what if rates go down? I don't know if you guys remember about a month ago when rates dipped into the twos, we had a refinancing scurry. Everybody rushed to get refied, and people are kicking themselves because about 2 days later, they went back up to 4 and 5%, right? So when that happens again, I want you to be ready, because you can be ready to just refi, pull some cash out, remodel your house, do whatever you want to do. Those opportunities are coming because you have trapped asset inventory. There's a trapped asset sitting in your home right now. So, but in the meantime, when you're talking to a lender, find out what you qualify for. So now if you know the equity you have in your home, plus you know what you would qualify for if you were to move up or move around or get a different view or get a house with a pool or room for a pool or get on the water or just move out of town or whatever you felt like doing, this is the time, right? And pull some cash out, keep some dry powder. There might be some good opportunities coming around. So the points here, your home has never been worth more than soon, right? I'm not saying now, I'm saying soon, because we haven't seen the stimulus rates yet, but I do predict we will. Your buying power has never been stronger than soon, right? Not this exact moment, but coming soon. So really be ready. It's a generational opportunity. And I just want you to put supply and demand power into your hands. And that's really that's the short, sweet message here, guys, is be ready. The opportunities are coming.
Well, let's talk about what be ready means. Be ready means talk to a good real estate agent to help you value your house. I did one with one of your agents in Tampa, Jeff, on Friday. The exercise we went through, and his is a luxury home. The sales around this house, there were nothing. There were 6 sales in the last 6 months. Nothing was as high as his house. And we had to dive deep and go into and find out what it could be worth. And the Zestimate was never going to do that. And we came up with a solid strategy, and he agreed. And so we came up with the price. But that's something you can't do by looking online. So get with a real estate agent and find out what your house is worth. And then if you like your house and you want to stay there, pull some cash out, like Jeff said, have some dry powder. But have some cash, and if you want to put a pool in, or you want to redo this, or put a new roof on, or put new windows in, or whatever else needs to happen to make you safe in your next quarantine environment, do that.
Or don't do anything and refi and just have a lower payment if you still have a payment.
Yeah, but the process of refinancing, I'm going through it right now, is painful. I mean, they are looking deep, and I've got a really strong equity position, so it shouldn't be a hard loan to do. But in light of the times that we're in, it's your tax returns, it's your this, it's your P&Ls, your Schedule Cs, all that stuff. You just got to be prepared. You got to be ready for it to make it happen. And then if your house isn't right for you, or you've decided that you'd like to be in a different location, you know, I'm excited for a lot of our markets. People are saying, wow, I get to work from home. I can work anywhere. Why am I paying $500 a square foot for a house when I can be in a different neighborhood for $200 a square foot and get a much bigger house? So there's been a lot of moving around, in and out, up and down, and moving around, because you're freer now than you were before. So that's the message. Just get prepared, be ready. We're here to help any way we can. But talk to a loan officer, talk to a real estate agent, and start dreaming. That's kind of the fun part, because we're all in our little shells, our little cocoons. And if we could open up our mind and start dreaming, this will pass. It's going to pass. It's going to be a quick recovery when it happens. And, you know, we've got pretty good leadership helping us guide through it. So
that's right. And our market's still good, guys. We're still a couple hundred homes this month, right? That's off of what we normally sell.
We sold 180 homes in March, which was pretty darn good in light of what happened. But we sold 100 homes in March of 2019. So we're feeling it. But just the fact, I just did the report today for sales meeting tomorrow. We had 196 leads in the last 7 days. Last week we had 150. The week before that we had 122. So that just tells me that there's a little bit more confidence. And I'm also suspect that if they're inquiring now, these are serious people. I actually changed my position, because I was telling sellers, do not come on the market now. We don't need it. It's going to be brutal for a while. I've totally changed that position and said, no. There are pent-up buyers, evidenced by the leads I'm showing you, that are looking, and they've already seen what's on the market. So when you come on the market new today, you're a shiny gem, and you're going to get lots of eyeballs. So it's not necessarily a bad time to go on the market now. It's not a great time, but you will get seen by the pent-up demand of buyers that are out there looking for houses.
One other thought on this one. You've got the pent-up market locally, and then you've got a bigger market about to be launched locally. And now to Craig's point, I think you're going to see a migratory buyer influx as well. People that want to live down here or that are not living down here for A, it's beautiful. B, I was reading the articles that the Corona doesn't like sun. So that's kind of another good thing people will be moving down here for. Plus get out of state income taxes, all the other stuff. And so we have the possibility of the best market we've ever seen coming. And so this doesn't mean you have to do something, but it means that it's prudent to prepare and talk with an agent. Talk with your lender, know your options, be ready to pull the trigger should the opportunity come. And I believe it's coming, and I may or may not be right, but we're going to find out. But even if I'm not right, at least you're going to be ready to take advantage of something, because I think we can all agree that stimulus is coming. That is the way out of this event, and just take advantage of those opportunities, guys. So,
well, Jeff, we didn't even touch on the investor market, but if what you're predicting is true and rates are going to drop, house prices are already not exaggerated. You can buy an investment home with some of the equity in your house and secure a long-term interest rate at a 3-ish number. That is insane. Because I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time. My first mortgage was 10.25%. And I just know that most real estate agents have never sold a mortgage for like more than 5%. But if you can lock in a 30-year fixed rate loan on an investment house at 3%, hypothetical numbers, what happens 10 years from now when interest rates are 7 or 8, which is like a normal number for them? And you've got a fixed rate at 3% and the market's at 8, it's called profit. And you're paying down equity, you're paying down principal, and you got a huge spread. It's going to be a huge opportunity, but you have to have the powder. So if you got 50% equity in your house, get a line of credit, talk to your banker, get a line of credit, you can use that as your down payment. It's probably going to pay for itself. But once again, that's not advice. We're just saying be prepared, know your options, and let yourself dream a little bit. It's kind of fun.
Great. And guys, again, it's Jeff Beggins and Craig Beggins, Century 21 Beggins. We've got offices all over the place. We've got agents all over, and we're here to help. And just get ready and just reach out with any questions. Call the office, ask for me, ask for Craig, and we'll help you in any time that you guys want. So we just wanted to come out there and answer some questions, give you some thought from our brains. So thank you for watching, and reach out with anything that you guys need.